evening. We are live. Anybody? I'll wait for Speedo to get here. I am a little early. I'll wait for Speedo to get here. I am a little early. Can you hear me? If you can, let me know. I guess not. Jeff, can you hear me? Hello. Welcome. Awesome. I am a little early. I figured why not? I didn't have anything else to do. How are you this evening? Awesome. Thank you. And it's cold in Ohio. It's like 26 degrees. I don't like it. We got some snow. Not a fan of that either. As you can see, they're swimming. Oh no. Got a lot of them that are deformed or something, Jeff? You know what, Jeff? You could always send those females my way. I'll throw them in the fish room. I don't care. I've got a Endler / guppy tank that are just multiplying like ants. So I don't mind them. This is my first time using StreamYard. This is going to take some getting used to for me. Jesse got me started on this. Told me this should be the best thing for me to use. So, lined blue stars. Are they pretty? I'm a fan of pretty fish. Those are actually really pretty. I had to look them up, Jeff. Nah, I had one of my electric blue car today that was made me have to do a very, very hard choice of, humanely euthanizing it. I've had that guy for a couple of years. Good fish too, good looking little fish, but he never grew. I mean, literally, it was only that big his entire life. That's as big as he ever got. Yeah, I'm still like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be live. So, oh, you see that over my shoulder? Hey, Fish Fam. Jeff, I may take you up on that, depending on where in the world you live. Got a little aggression going on behind me. I can see it. Wisconsin. That's right. You told me that. How you doing, Zen? Welcome. Well, these guys are all out now. They're all just over here, just swimming around, looking all nice. Earlier, they were all down at the bottom, looking at me all weird because, it's Sunday. I fast my fish on Sundays. All my fish except for my fry and my littles. Welcome. Welcome. Guys, I thought I was going to miss this live stream a little bit ago. I couldn't get my computer to function. I had to mess with it this afternoon. I don't eat fish at all. Fish are friends. They're not food for me. My wife, on the other hand, she likes fish, but nothing that I have down here, thank God. Sada, welcome. Guys, weird fact. My first subscriber is Sada. He's been with me the entire time. He was my very first subscriber. I am not a big fish fan. Never have been. Oh, wow. Welcome. Welcome, Tom. It's got to be kind of late in the UK, isn't it? Why are we always yelling? Welcome. All right, guys, we're going to talk about fish that shouldn't be in the hobby. I have a few on my list. I want to know what you think. So I'm going to start right off red-tail catfish. If you don't have the aquarium size for them, you don't need one. I am not against them being in the hobby. If you have a monster pond, that's great. Uh-oh. You don't think guppies should be in the hobby? I agree. Sometimes guppies have been bred to the point to where they're just not healthy. Same thing with bettas. But, you buy this little red-tail catfish about this big from the pet store, and before you know, within a few months, it's outgrowing your 29-gallon tank because it just seems to be the tank that everybody has. They do breed way too fast. I agree, Sada. They shouldn't be as, accessible as everything else is. Wow, it's 11 p.m. over there. Thank you, Tom, for staying up so late to be on the live stream. I appreciate it. Um, I've seen some red-tailed catfish. They are monsters. I mean, it's just they're huge. And it's like the pacu. Everybody buys this little itty bitty pacu, and it's like, oh, it's only going to get the size of a silver dollar. The next thing you know, that thing's like that tall, that long. It gets to be a monster. I've had a couple of common plecos. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep them, so I turned them into my local fish store, and he's got a guy that takes every one of them he can get. I don't know if the guy is eating them or if the guy's putting them somewhere, but the guy takes a lot of them. The problem with a lot of people who get turtles, they don't understand what they're getting into. Some turtles do live a very, very long time. But the common pleco, I mean, they have their place, but they need to be in a big, big, big aquarium because, a 24-inch fish at peak is just not something that everybody is equipped to handle. I've got a 300-gallon pond, and I'm not equipped to handle a full-grown pleco. Welcome, Skull. So, goldfish are another one that I seen. I love my goldfish. They are they're eventually going to outgrow what I have. And luckily for me, there's a pond in my backyard. They will go there. So, but people do overbreed fish. It is just not, no, it's just not something to do. Welcome, Jim. I'm not what's the other one that I'm thinking of? There's one more fish I have that just really stands out to me. We got the red-tailed catfish. We got the pleco. We have the pacu. Let's say it mollies, believe it or not. I have had zero luck with mollies. I mean, absolutely none. Every molly I get, I had one actually, I take that back. I had one molly that lived longer than 6 months. He actually made it to almost 2 years. But, I mean, they're just bred so bad and so much that they're not pure. A giant gourami, oh, that is the one I was thinking of, Skull. Thank you. There's a few more, too. If anybody hasn't checked it out, you should check out Jungle Gems page. The gentleman has a bluegill. That bluegill is pretty cool. I mean, gouramis are cool and all, but they belong in a large, large, large aquarium. Like a 150-gallon tank for one fish, to me, is ridiculous. They're, in fact, a face only a mother could love. You know what, Jim? If I live closer, I might have to actually come and see that fish. I may actually go get myself one. I'm not even going to lie. I might see if I can find one this summer in like a small creek or something. I know that sounds really bad, but that fish is cool. I like it. Dog has an average lifespan of up to 20 years. And that was another thing. It's on a Facebook post last night. Apparently somebody got mauled by their dog that they were breeding in California. You can tell what kind of dog it was. It's like the most hated dog breed on the planet. So if you know what dog breed I'm talking about, you know you own one. But it's the pit bull. I mean, everybody hates those dogs. I don't know why. They're like the most loyal dog you'll ever get as long as you treat them right. You know, mine's going on 11 years old. Good evening, Scott. What's going on, Melvin? Welcome. You know, but the only thing that gets the news is actually the big dog. You know, your pit bull gets the news because it's a pit bull, and it's just a bad stereotype. Have you guys seen the video of the plecos in the river in Florida? Now that's crazy. Like, these plecos were apparently introduced, and they were just living on marine life down there in these rivers and just killing them. You know, I seen the video. There was probably 400 of them in this video. It's just wild. Look it up on YouTube. They do eat manatees. You're correct, Skull. Clown knife. So that's a cool subject. So I bought a tank off of a gentleman who was his brother's tank, but his brother passed away, and that tank had a clown knife in it that was dead when I bought it. I'm not even gonna lie, I think it was dead for a while, and they cleaned it out right before I got there. And I mean, that thing had to be that long in a 55-gallon tank. I mean, eventually it probably would have outgrown that, but I'm not a clown knife fan. I am also, there's a few other fish that I'm not a fan of. I'm not a piranha fan. Maybe that's because I've never had them. Maybe, you know, if I got one, something like that, and then watched them grow out, probably, but no. I mean, I've watched the King of DIYs with his piranha. He's got like 30 of them in a 700-gallon tank. Pity boxer mix, and she was a big, sweet dum-dum. So I've got a 10-year-old going on an 11-year-old American Bulldog Pit Bull mix. She was 3 years old. I got another pit as a, you know, just a male pit. And I walked in the house with her, and I threw the dog down and said, "Here's your new brother." They lived perfectly together. You know, and I'm like, she took the dog like it was, you know, her brother, trained it on how to be a dog. And I mean, they lived great. Sad thing is I had to put him down last year because he blew out both of his back knees. It was like 16 grand to fix his knees with no guarantee that it would work. It's the hardest thing you can do is to put down an animal that was healthy, you know, like 10 minutes before that. You know, I had the argument, with a lady on Facebook about this. She says, "Oh, Chihuahuas can't kill anybody." I said, you know, BS. What if that's a child? You know, I mean, think about that. A baby, if that Chihuahua bites that baby enough, that baby could die. I mean, that's straight out. Chihuahuas bite more people a year than any other dog breed because they have little man complex. You know, they think they're a German Shepherd trapped in like a kitty cat body. Oh, there's a million articles out there on pit bulls. The media is they just hate them. Man, I've been around pits my entire life. You know, I've never been bit by one. I got bit by a German Shepherd. Every pit bull I've ever met was like happy to see me and wanted to be pet. They love pets. You know what? A bite pressure thing. Pit bull's not even the one with the highest bite pressure. A Rottweiler has a higher bite pressure. So does a Cane Corso. What's the other one? A Caucasian Shepherd. They all have a higher bite force. And then you get those idiots that think, oh, the pit bull can lock its jaw. That's a myth. It can't. I think the only thing that has anything to do with a locking or dislocking jaw is a snake. They can dislocate its jaw to eat. it's we're getting a little off of the topic of fish, but you know what? It is what it is. So, does anybody have any of these fish that I've mentioned? Anybody have a red-tailed catfish? I've thought about it. I actually thought about putting it in this tank. It was like one of the first things I was going to get. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get one of those. And I'm like, no. Then I thought about getting a common pleco because I wanted another one. I had one, and then I actually got two. And probably within 6 months, one died, and then I got another one, and then it died within another 6 months. It really didn't make it that long. The one was fine one day, and the next day it was just snow white and stiff as a board on the bottom. And I had seen it that morning, like moving around the tank. And I came home from work, and there it was. I had two cats. My boy cat was I swear he either was a mechanic, a carpenter, or somebody that loved tools in a previous life. Because you whip tools out, and that dude was all about tools. However, there were certain people he did not like. My cat would have his hair standing up on its back and hiss at him and go to swat at him. But unfortunately, I was young and dumb, and I had both of my cats declawed on the front. And the only thing they had was their rear claws. They never had the chance of going to get outside. That just never happened. They would step outside and walk right back in. They wanted nothing to do with it. But yeah, if I ever get another cat, that won't happen. But cats, if they do bite you, or actually if a cat scratches you, you can get more from a cat scratching you can a bite. I think you can get like cat scratch fever or something. I believe that is a real thing. Might not be, but I think it is. So it's a great song too. It's a great song. It's okay, don't be sorry. You threw the music in there. It is what it is. You know a breeder that had pit bulls for years, not been bitten once. My thing with the pit bull is it's like a child. It's how you raise it. If you raise the dog, you're nice to the dog. You treat the dog with respect. The dog's not going to bite you. And if you raise your children with respect, they're not going to be idiots in life. And that's how I was raised. So some people just never get there. Welcome, Animal Instincts. Guys, another one of my favorite fish is actually on this list, and I'll throw it out here in a minute. I'm not into monster fish. Like, I like looking at them in other people's tanks, but not for me. I like nano and peaceful fish and fish that aren't going to jump out of the tank. My favorite fish, honestly, I never will own one. I've got to see one in person. I love the arapaima. The arapaima, I think, is probably one of the most gorgeous fish on the planet. And they don't belong in the aquarium hobby. I truly don't believe that. I mean, that thing is going to get 6, 7, 8 feet long. Who do you know that has a tank that's that big, that can house a 150 to 300 pound fish? I just said that a few minutes ago. They have little man syndrome. They really do. My father-in-law has little man syndrome. He's like a 5'4" Italian guy. Little man syndrome all day long, so it is real. But that dog really does. You know what, though? I have a gentleman that works at the local Pizza Hut around here. He has a He has a little Chihuahua. Her name's Annie. I swear she is the sweetest dog I've ever seen. That dog whimpered and cried until I picked her up and let her give me a kiss on the nose. Seriously. Jim, you can call me Jim. You don't have to call me Happy. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. Yeah, they are raised. You're right. 100% correct. They are raised because they're not seen as a threat. My neighbor used to have a Chihuahua and a Corgi together. And the Corgi was the sweetest thing on the planet. I did not trust that Chihuahua. It just looked at me sideways every time I went there. And no, not my thing. It's just not, people just don't know how to raise their animals. That's another thing. Just not my thing at all. I don't think some of the eels belong actually in there, like the electric eel. The electric eel it's a weird fish. It's a cool looking fish, but that's not something you need to have in the hobby. I mean, that thing is like an abomination. It's electrically charged. If it's charged enough, it can kill you, I heard. Or if you have a weak ticker, it can kill you. Hey, that would be great. Come on, Jim. I put the link there. Click on it. Be the Jungle Jim and Happy Place Aquatic Show. Jim squared. That is right. 2 Jims to make it right. I've thought about getting a husky. I know a husky's also a bad, good for biting people. But I don't know. I think if you train it and you do things the right way, it'll be okay. It's like my dog. Her dad was actually a cat killer and pretty mean dog. But her dad actually loved me, and I was like the only person that could walk up and just start petting this dog. Me and my wife. Oh, come on, Jungle Jim. A Yorkie Poo Mutt Terrier is a little twitchy, but she won't bite people. A Yorkie Poo. That would have to be a cute little dog. My brother had a Chow. This Chow would look at you and bark. Every hair on its back was standing up, and this dog would just stand there barking at you and just straight pee everywhere. I mean, he was just ready to kill something. That dog was terrible. That dog lived like 19 years. You know what, Jim? Next week you should set your camera up and set in front of your 125 so we can see that nice little that bluegill swimming around with those Oscars. Never been bit by a Dalmatian. Almost got bit by a greyhound. My wife's aunt has a couple of them, and one snipped at me. Told my wife's aunt, I said, that dog bite me, I'm probably going to knock it out. Not even joking. The dog bite me, I'm probably going to knock your dog out. But she put him away. And that's another animal that's abused too. Not a Dalmatian, a greyhound. When they're not being raced and abused, man, nobody wants them. And it's just sad. Another thing that shouldn't be, we were on the subject of things that shouldn't be in the aquarium hobby. Let's go to this. I don't think a snapping turtle should be in the aquarium hobby. I mean, think about that. A snapping turtle. The thing has a very sharp set of teeth in its mouth. I think I'd rather get bit by a pit bull than a snapping turtle. Just saying. Dalmatians are very smart and very loyal. That they are. The problem is lazy people get dogs that need to be ran and just, they're like active dogs. That's just what it is. Lazy people get dogs they shouldn't get. It's like, why would you live in an apartment and get a German Shepherd? That dog needs a yard, needs room to run. It's like a child. You keep it locked in a 6x6 yard, it's not going to do anything. It's going to be, very, very, very irritated. Working dogs need jobs. That's why my wife always takes treats, stuffs them inside of a Kong, and throws it in the yard and lets my dog go get it out. It works perfectly. In the wintertime, we'll take like little doggy snacks and throw them in the snow and let her go sniff them out. I mean, you got to keep that dog occupied. I mean, granted, she is a American Bulldog Pit Bull mix. She's like 95 pounds, but that dog likes to sniff things out. She also likes to partake in the Lord's lettuce as well. That's another whole situation altogether. So, got a little update on my 125-gallon Embona tank. We are 2 days deep and nobody has died. So I did I dosed the absolute heck out of that tank yesterday with a whole bunch of aquarium salt. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try it again. I'm going to start all over again. You know, I threw a bunch of it in there. I actually dosed a little more than it should have been for 125 gallon. And those fish are swimming around. They're all colored up today. The water is crystal clear. Well, welcome. Welcome, William. Our dog walks 2 to 3 miles with us a night on top of having a backyard to play in. I still don't think it's enough. No, probably not. I have a fenced-in backyard. My dog can go out there and run around all she wants. You know, I can't take my dog out on a leash. My dog is an idiot on a leash. It's because when she was a puppy, that's all we could put her out on. And that's how we took her outside, and she played with the leash, and there it is. She's stuck. Yeah, I mean, if you're going in and out of people's houses, you should, in fact, be told that they have a dog, for one. They should ask you whether or not you want that dog to be put away from you, or, secure so it can't get to you. I went to get my other dog from, I went to the ghetto to get the dog. Not even going to lie. The guy was selling them on Facebook Marketplace. I got a, full-blood pit bull for $150. I go to the ghetto. The only thing that was in this house was a TV and 2 dogs. I mean, literally, no furniture in this house. The lights were on, but there was no furniture in this house. It had electricity, and it had they had a space heater in the room where the puppies were. And I got attacked and pinned to the wall by the mom dog. And I told the guy that, I said, man, you need to get your dog. I said, I will put your dog down if it tries to bite me. And I wasn't being rude. I wasn't being mean. I warned him, put your dog down. I understand I have your dog's puppy in my hand, but you need to get your dog. And he did. But he also told me that he had the dog, so I was fully aware of it. I just didn't think the dog was going to attack me. Absolutely, Jim. You got to make sure they put him away. Welcome, Mickey from Detroit. Is the weather just as bad in Detroit as it is in Cleveland? It's like 26 and cold. Guys, I will be on this live stream this week, next week, and maybe one more. But let me see. I got to look at my calendar. I am going out of town. So I will do one next week and the week after, but on the 10th, I will not. I will not even be in the continental United States. I will be in Mexico. I am looking forward to that trip. I am going to Playa del Carmen. My boss was nice enough to buy me and my wife a 5-star resort all-inclusive vacation for Christmas. So got lucky there. I stopped walking my dog in the neighborhood because neighbors let the dogs run in their front yards off leash. They always run up to us. That is a valid point right there. I understand that. I have a next door neighbor that just moved in, I don't know, back the beginning of summer, this past summer. They got this ugly little dog. I mean, ugly little dog. And I have told these people numerous times, if your dog comes in my yard and it tries to attack my dog is going to kill your dog. I hate to put it that way, and I've told him, I said, my dog is territorial. If it's not supposed to be in my yard, my dog's going to let it know. Because when my dog was 6 months old, she took down a deer because the deer kept messing with her, and she came right back to me. So it is what it is. It's a little deer. She made sure that deer knew who it was. However, I do have coyotes too, and I've tried to explain that to the neighbor that if her little dog comes up missing, it's probably going to be coyotes. Jim, I do have one hell of a boss, man. Started with him 5 years ago, coming up actually in May. It'll be 5 years that I've been there. His dad passed away on Valentine's Day. Actually, this past Valentine's Day was the 5-year mark of his pops passing away. The guy was working in this shop by himself. He was there till 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And then all of a sudden, I end up over there. I worked at another shop. The guy that owned that shop sent me to that shop because this guy needed help. And I mean, this dude treats me very well. I don't have to pay for my own health insurance, dental, vision, or health. Pays for my Aflac full boat. If I need to fix my own car, I don't even have to pay for the parts. That's how good that is. I got it made there. He knows I'm not going anywhere. And now I run that shop without him being here. You know what, guys? Every dog can be a demon. It really can. I mean, think about it. It's like every child can be a demon. You got to take care of your animals. You got to raise them. See, now that's somebody that is understanding that their dog may or may not be vicious. And that's a very good point, Melvin. They should put them away, and then when everybody leaves, let them back out. There's certain people I won't let my dog around because I don't want my dog to trust them. That's just how it is. There's certain people that she knows, and that's how it is. My best friend, G, she loves that dude. So there are leash laws. That is correct, and people don't think they should follow them. They do always use the he's friendly. And I'm like, mine are not. I get that. My dog loves everybody, but I don't want her to. She's got to be able to protect her house, and I know she will. She already has. I live in a really nice neighborhood. Somebody tried to break into our house in broad daylight, man. Broke my front screen door. There's pry bar marks on my door frame. The only thing that scared them off was my two dogs, and they were both 95-pound dogs, so... I live in a county I actually live in a city that doesn't let you have pit bulls, but I have my dog registered as an American Bulldog because it's what she mainly is. She's tall, she's long, she just has the face of a pit. Another thing that upsets me that's in this world, people will go on like some of these SPAC, some of these like websites that are adopting out dogs for like 20 or 25 bucks a piece. They will go adopt beagles and use beagles as bait dogs. You understand that a beagle is probably one of the best dogs out there. They are a little temperament, but they are probably one of the best dogs when it comes to hunting, tracking, and honestly protecting their human. I don't believe that. I don't understand how you can go and get another dog and take that dog and use it for a fight that it's going to lose. You got a 75 or 80-pound pit bull and you got like a 25-pound beagle. Beagles are great dogs, man. My mom had one. His name was Chaser. That dude was probably the best dog ever. Your neighbor should have kept her dog in her yard. Just saying. I feel bad that the little chihuahua got messed up, but should have kept it in his yard. Jungle Jim, I like your dog. Randy seems like a pretty cool dog. Guys, I was at work Friday. I'm missing a little bit of facial hair. I was using some brake cleaner. I was cleaning off the bottom of a car that was running. That car had a misfire. I took flames right to the face. My lips are messed up. My nose is all burnt inside and outside. I mean, it's pretty sad, but I'm all right. I'm amazed I have my eyebrows. My eyelashes caught a little bit, but my beard, my mustache, and my beard took the most of it. So, one of these fish are splashing around over here. It's starting to scare me a little bit. I'm wondering if they're fighting or what. Pomeranians are definitely a mean dog. Chihuahuas and Pomeranians. However, I have held a little teacup Pomeranian. It was about this big. Oh my God, that dog was so cute. I wanted to squish it. Jim, I'm afraid to give my fish worms. They've never actually had worms. Closest worms they've had are frozen bloodworms. I just don't know what. I don't know. Should I go outside and get them out of the ground by my house? Because that's probably about as natural as they're going to get. Because the ones around here are like that and like that long. They sell that I know are not full of hormones and chemicals. I don't want my fish to die just due to I gave them some kind of worm that they didn't like. That's what scares me about feeding them that. Last night, my guys got krill and some got bloodworms. Yeah, Jim, I just don't trust it, man. I've got a lot of money in fish. I was watching $20 bills fall away on my 125 over there. I just don't want to lose some of these other ones. I love some of these fish are, some I can never probably get back again. That's like I got a fish. I know you guys tell me that everywhere you guys can find them, but I can't. I've got a tomato hap. I have a single tomato hap. He's in a 40-gallon breeder by himself. The dude looks at me every morning like, "You're going to feed me?" I cannot find any. I've looked at every place online. Nobody has them. Every time I click on them, out of stock. So I'm starting to think I may have the only tomato hap left. It's just wild. Jim, how big are your Oscars? Do you have a potential size on them? I know that guy is my biggest Oscar right at the moment. And then rolling behind is going to be this crazy one right here. I've actually looked them up by their name, like their technical name. I've had to copy and paste it, but because I can't pronounce it, but I've looked it up by that. And there's also like an SP35 or something they go by. So I've looked. I've even asked my local fish store if he can find them for me, and he says he's not available. We have hunting dogs. My cousin's dog was a puggle, half pug, half beagle. She was very friendly and offering as a mixed Maltese. Beagles are awesome, dude. I don't care what anybody says. A beagle was probably one of the smartest dogs, other than some of your like golden retrievers and things on the planet. I mean, they are extremely smart. Jim, I think mine is probably about 10 inches. That's probably through the glass, so he's probably 8, 9 maybe. I don't know how much the glass intensifies that. And then this one over here mean mugs me every time I'm in the fish room. She wants to eat. She knows, I'm pretty sure she knows today is the day that she doesn't eat. And she just looks at me like I'm weird. Oh, welcome.
Hello. Is this
How you
working?
doing? Yeah, I
Good.
can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. I can hear you too. How's it
Awesome.
go?
Fantastic, man. What do you have behind you going there?
This is my 135-gallon planted tank that I'm actually going to be tearing down next weekend, replacing it with an even bigger tank.
How big you going?
240 gallons.
Oh, like this guy right here.
Yep, but an 8-footer.
Yeah, eight. I would have liked to have an 8-foot one, but
Yeah.
Awesome. There's no echo. That's
Oh, yeah.
cool. So,
I'm doing this on an iPhone. I'm actually surprised it's working.
I actually did my first live stream from my iPhone. It worked perfectly.
Oh, wow.
I'm using my computer now, which kind of worked, but kind of didn't. Jim, you should have measured that thing while you had it out the tank the other day. I know it was probably a little nerve wracking, but you should have measured it. So what all's in that tank back there?
Oh, yeah. So this might be a little blurry, but I got a bunch of roseline sharks and Bosemani rainbows and turquoise rainbows, purple angels, like 12 cories that never come out. But, man, yeah, the worst part about setting up the new tank is this has to come down. And all the fish got to go in buckets, like out in the living room. Then I got to stand that 240-gallon tank up on its end and slowly slide and lower it into this room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't just put it in a different spot because I went under the house to see where the metal beams are. They just happen to be already underneath this tank.
I got lucky. I got mine in the basement. Mine's on concrete. When we brought this tank down, it was took 4 of us. And I mean, that thing is probably dead empty weights, like 550 pounds.
Oh, man. Wait, how much?
It's like 550 pounds. That's half-inch thick glass.
Oh, man. That's completely empty, no substrate or nothing.
Nothing. Empty tank.
Oh, God.
It took 4 of us to get it down my stairs into my basement.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have 5 or 6 people, including me. But my arm strength is good, but this hand, it's really bad. But I have my dad as a backup.
Oh, Larry. So this guy right here is trying to be funny.
Poor weak guys. Yeah, I got weak hands. That's for sure. My hands and my fingers are messed up. If I hold 3 fingers up, that's the straightest I can get them.
I'm an automobile mechanic. At some point in time, my hands are probably going to be like this. I'm not going to be able to straighten them out because I've used my hand for a hammer. I mean, I use it for whatever I can.
Oh,
my hands are just. I mean, you can't really hear it, but every time I close my hands, they crack. So.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, it cracks every time I do this. Really good. But, yeah, I was thinking about getting a 240 10 years ago, and we thought, nah, there's no way that's going to happen. But then, we realized, oh, wait, we can do this. But it's got to go in that one specific spot. But at my other house, it's all ground level. But the problem is there's no heating, no air conditioning in that house. And I've had a tank there before, and that water will go up to 87 degrees in the summer.
That is, that's pretty warm.
Oh, yeah.
See if I'm going to try to do something. They're going to let me do it. I'm going to try to bring my phone in on this. And have you watched some of my videos and seen the tour of the fish room?
I believe I have. It's been a long time because I've been so stressed out about this whole process, but I haven't watched videos in a long time in general.
There is a
the people.
A lot of tanks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty sure I've been through your channel before. It's just so hard for me to keep up. Like I'm ADHD as hell. It's like I follow like hundreds and hundreds of fish keepers, like, and I don't comment on everything. I just watch. I lurk. I'm a big time lurker. Like people have no idea I'm even like subscribed to them and watching their stuff.
I didn't honestly. There's a lot of people that I don't even know I'm subscribed to. I can agree with that. I watch a lot of different things. In this room alone, there is it's 8, 10, 12, 14, 6. I got 17 tanks right here in this room.
Oh man.
And
Oh my God.
on the other side, I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on the other side of this wall behind the computer. And
Not for people want to see me doing that.
it's the day and age, man. It's everybody smokes or vapes or does other things. There's another guy on here that does fish and hits, man. I mean, just
Everyday fish keeping. I love that guy.
I watched that dude the other night. I'm like, man, he's straight ripping a bong.
Oh yeah. Hey, I like to blaze every once in a while too. I'm what's called a retired stoner. I don't do it that much anymore.
Follows 1,300 channels. That is a lot of channels.
That's probably what I'm following too. It's like so hard to keep up now. Like every time I see a fish channel pop up, boom, subscribe, and I'll just binge watch like all day, every weekend.
I went down a rabbit hole one night when this entire thing started. I started out with a Facebook video from Corey from Aquarium Co-op, and then I went from Aquarium Co-op to K&G Tropics, and then I found Joey, the king of DIY. I was lost the entire night, the rest of the night, watching his videos from like back in the day.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, man, I can DIY some stuff now.
I don't trust myself with DIY stuff. Like I'm not handy at all. I know how to work on my car a little bit, and that's it. Like I won't mess around with like giant glass boxes of water and sealing it myself. I'll mess it up.
Interesting fact. That is a secondhand tank. I made the stand. I resealed the tank. The 125 next to it, my South American, I resealed that. I've got a 90 I resealed on the other side, a 75, two 55s that I resealed. I got two 55s on the opposite side I resealed. I mean, I can reseal in a tank, doesn't really scare me. What's going on, J-Rock? But, basically, the best video that I can tell you to watch is to look it up by the King of DIY. He breaks it down, and it's pretty simple. I mean, I've told anybody that's asked me that, I said, if you want to find a video that helps you reseal a tank, that's the video to watch. So,
oh, yeah, I love King of DIY. I've been following him and all those guys since I've been on YouTube since 2012, and I remember even all the OG people that don't even post anymore.
There's some of them I've got a bunch of them I like. I'm going to be honest with you. Like Kev over at Caveman, the dude is smart. He knows his stuff, but he kind of went from the fish keeping aspect to he's now a salesman.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he knows what he's talking about, but there's that. And then you got to remember, man, some of these guys, they need to actually remember. They started out like us.
Yep.
It started out in their garage or in their basement keeping fish tanks, and the next thing you know, they're owning a fish store and they're selling this and they're selling that. They need to remember that the little guys is what got them where they are, and they don't seem to remember that. I messaged. I was on a Facebook post, and I actually had a little bit of an interaction with Corey, and I told Corey he's the reason why I'm in the hobby. He didn't even read it, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, if somebody told me I'm the reason they're doing something, I'm going to tell them, hey, good job, man. I appreciate you telling me that.
Yeah, a lot of those guys have so many like followers and like all that they can't they get flooded with comments and messages. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to get that big. I'm not even trying to get that big.
I just want to share my hobby with everybody.
Yep, same here.
If you ever watch any of my videos, at the end of them, I tell everybody, it's your hobby. Do it your way. And then you get those people that jump on here and tell you, oh, fake plants this and fake plants that. Look, man, I keep African cichlids. Put a real plant in there with them. See how long it lasts. My African cichlids have ate every plant I've ever put in there.
Yeah, I've actually like responded to people's comments before on Facebook and YouTube. They're like, "Why do you have fake plants?" And I would respond to them saying, "You see that fish they have in there? That's a silver dollar. It will mess those plants up."
You know what, man? I have goldfish in a 300-gallon pond. I have live plants in there. Believe it or not, they don't eat the live part of it. They just eat the dead part off of it. And I was amazed.
Wait, what kind of plants was this again?
It's a sword of some sort.
Oh, Amazon swords.
I don't know if it's an Amazon sword, but I mean, this thing is like this high. It's a monster sword plant. It's like a mother sword plant.
Oh yeah, they probably won't eat those big leaved like plants that are like they have like rather stiff, like hard leaves, like Anubias almost, and those things are impossible to eat.
Yeah, they'll clean the dead branches off of, but they'll leave the other ones alone.
Yep. Yeah, I actually put a goldfish in here at one point, and like when I had a duckweed problem, and because some next door neighbor was about to flush their little goldfish like down the toilet, and I'm like, I'll take it, I guess. And then when I had that duckweed in here, I put that goldfish in here. It ate, cleaned out all the duckweed.
Goldfish love duckweed. It is actually great to be able to look back at your tank a year to 3 years or so, and see what the progress is. I agree, because I have one tank over there that I haven't changed anything in. The substrate's the same. Believe it or not, some of the fish are still the same. It's been going for almost 3 years. The only thing missing is the betta that's in it, and that tank has got probably the nicest plants that I own in it.
Oh wow. Yeah, I just like got this tank to like fully planted status like within the last year. Like before, I was like so lazy with how I set it up. I just threw plastic everything in there and just called it a day. And then like shortly after, I just lost interest in the hobby. And then finally, like early 2023, I just restocked it, converted it to fully planted. That was that. Now I'm getting a 240.
I have Blackmores. They don't eat anything. They leave all the plants alone. They don't even eat the floating plants I have, which is weird, because it's got a whole bunch of floating micro water lettuce on the top. They don't even eat that.
I wish my buddy's goldfish were that way. He spent like $80 in plants at a local fish store, and he put it in a 75-gallon, and it has 2 Orandas in it, and they ate everything except the Anubias.
Man, Orandos will pound down some food.
Oh yeah,
they will. I mean, they will pound down a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm surprised any of those other fish in his tank even get any food, because like they just gobble everything up like really quick. He has them mixed with tropical fish.
It's like this tank right here. The gentleman is like, "Oh, you got those earth eaters in there. You need to put real plants in there." I said, "They'll be floating by the end of the day. I'll have to replant them." He's like, "Oh, no." I said, "Bro, I have rocks in there. The rocks disappear, and then 2 days later, they reappear." You know what I mean? They move sand.
Yeah. Well, I always go by the saying, if you have large, like South Central American cichlids, it's not your tank, it's their tank.
Correct.
Yep.
Like this girl right here. She rearranges her tank once a week.
Oh, yeah. And I wasn't smart enough to put plastic egg crate. Where am I? I wasn't smart enough to put plastic egg crate under the gravel, so I can't get geos the earth eaters, because if they dig under these rocks, they're going to drop and crack the glass.
Yeah. What's up, Jim? Welcome.
Figured I'd give it a try.
Why not?
Jim.
You can't see him too well, but he's right there. Yeah.
I see him. Dude, I'm going to come steal that fish.
Right there. Yeah. Why not?
I'll be over there tomorrow to pick them up.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to turn you guys up.
There's the big Oscar behind you, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he comes swinging around, too. The other one hangs out over there in the bubble stream. Well, there he is.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice piece of driftwood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it came with the tank. Oh, Bluegill's trying to get his action on, too. He wants to be showing off.
Absolutely. Let it go. Let it show it off, buddy.
I got to set this up better real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. So I believe my Oscar is probably about 9 inches long.
Yeah. Yeah. The black one's definitely shorter than the white one. That white one just doesn't stop growing. I'm like, maybe I don't know what it is, but yeah, he's a beast. This guy.
My albino
Right,
and my
look,
240 is
right
the
there,
youngest
too.
one.
What's that?
I said my albino and my 240 is my youngest one.
Yeah. Yeah. How many? What do you have? 4.
I do have 4.
Eight.
4. Uh-oh, there you are. Yeah, I've got Daisy right here. She's the Lutino. I've got Ludwig down here. He's just a standard tiger. Then I have the tiger in the 240, and then I have the albino in the 240.
Yeah, I guess actually he's not really albino. He really is a lutistic or whatever. Yeah, the other one's supposedly a bumblebee, but I don't know. He's definitely got some yellow on him. He's not as happy with the move as the other ones are.
Oh, it takes them a while, man. They're honestly, man, they're big, like big crybabies.
Oh yeah,
They really are.
yeah. He came up and took some shrimp yesterday, then went right back down to the ground. He was like, I'm gonna lay down again.
Every time I clean Daisy's tank, man, she lays on the bottom for hours. Just lays there. She wants
Yeah.
nothing to do. Oh, we got Garcia in the house. Tomorrow is Garcia's birthday.
Happy birthday, Garcia. Wait,
Happy
do
birthday,
you have
man.
I
You have
on
the
a
ability
live
to
stream
play
with him
his
last
little
night.
video?
Was on a live stream with him last night. Everybody was cracking old jokes on him. I threw one at him.
God, I
He's a
feel
good
like
sport,
it's
he
time.
takes it.
Like I'm way younger than most people in this YouTube hobby, fish keeping.
Man, you wouldn't believe it, but
Man,
I'm
look
like
at my
22
hair.
years old.
I wish I was still 22. I'm 25.
Oh, I'm 42. I'm old.
You're old. I'm 44.
My the youngest part about me is my left hip. It's only like a year old.
Well,
Knock on wood, I haven't had anything like that yet.
I'm 25 going on 65. Like I did so much stupid crap to my body.
That's what we do. Welcome, only Oscars.
The Oscars. Garcia Aquatics. I had to do it.
Yes. Garcia should jump on here. I know he's doing a live later, but he should get his butt on here.
Garcia, vámonos. Come on. Get up here.
I'm posting a link, buddy. Come on. You know what, J-Rock? I had my I walked around for about 3 years in agonizing pain. I'd work 10 hours, come home, sit down. I would be stuck for 4 hours. Like I'd get home at like 6:15, take a shower, eat dinner. I was there until midnight. I couldn't get up. And I finally had enough of it, and I went and got my hip replaced. I still got to have the other one done. That's what
Was there
happened.
anything in particular? Accidents or anything? Or
No,
was it like, no?
born that way. Both hips are messed up.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I developed hip dysplasia as a child,
Yeah.
and then they never caught it. They have ways of fixing it now, but when I was a kid, they didn't, you know. And my feet went from being straight, and then it just kicked out, so I walk like a duck.
Yeah.
So
Has
now
it-
I look weird.
Yeah. Has the one that you had done, has it gone back in?
The one that I had done is perfectly straight.
Yeah. Do you go in circles when you're walking now?
If I walk fast enough, I go to the right really hard. I'm not even gonna lie. I told the
Yeah.
doctor when he did it, I said, "Hey man, are you gonna straighten my leg out?" He's like, "No, I can't. It's going to affect the way you walk." So then I go back in and I'm talking to the surgeon and said, "Bro, you lied to me." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You straightened my leg out." I'm like, "I walk funny now."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to stop in and get me an alignment done.
That's right. Yeah, you're on the 2-year plan for that.
Yeah, I'm on the. I'm gonna have to have it done again plan.
Oh man.
Now,
He told me I should
Yeah.
never have to have the left one done again.
okay. Yeah, because I knew a guy that was roughly my age. He had it done, motorcycle accident in like his early 20s, and he had to have it done again a couple of years back. I guess it's not that way anymore, huh? More
He told me
permanent.
the way that it's done now, like the socket they insert into your pelvis is made out of ceramic.
Oh, really?
I'm like, how is ceramic and titanium just going to hold together like that? Apparently it does.
Right?
He said he has a guy
Heat
that is on his
resistant, too.
27th year.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So We'll see.
This is a weird tangent.
It is. You would think that titanium, a metal, would wear, ceramic out.
Yeah.
They used to make it out of some type of plastic,
Yeah. I thought
Like,
that's what I thought. It was like hard plastic.
like a nylon bushing or a nylon insert.
Huh.
I'm like, no. I asked him, could he put a Zert fitting in it so I could grease it every now and then? He told me no.
That work.
I'm like, oh, come on, I'll put a grease gun over there, give it a couple pumps, and that way it doesn't make any noise.
Right. The Tin Man.
Yeah. The funny thing is, when I go, I'm going to Mexico in a couple weeks. I have to actually declare my hip as I go through.
That's awesome.
I'm going to
Pretty
need all
scary.
that work done before I'm anywhere near your guys' age.
You know what,
The
man?
only thing
I'll
I've
put
got
my
done is
feet down.
carpal tunnel.
I think
Carpal
I have
tunnel
carpal
right here.
tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. From doing bricks and stuff, It's like hands were no good anymore.
I did masonry as a young man.
Yeah.
That's one of my first jobs. I've had a lot of jobs, but truly cars have always been my thing. That's what I do now. I manage a little mom and pop shop. I am the head mechanic, the head master tech, I should say. So,
I like cars. I sure as hell don't work on them.
man, these things are getting dumber and dumber as they get smarter. They're smart. I have yet to work on a Tesla, and I probably won't, just for the fact of I don't have the equipment to do it, and my
Oh yeah.
owner of my shop is not going to buy it.
Don't blame
But
them.
some of these other cars are pretty generic.
Well, like I've got a Tundra and a Wrangler, and then my fake sports car is a Mini Countryman Turbo.
Okay,
Nobody wants to touch that thing.
it's a Euro car. They're fun. They're easy to work on.
Yeah. Are they?
I'm
Yeah.
here-
Everybody's afraid of them because they're BMWs. But
I'm the European tech. That's my
oh
shop.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
they're
I work on
plastic,
everything, but that's what I work on.
Yeah.
I do
I
that. I'm the dude. I had a BMW that just wore me out. I mean, I sold it because I couldn't get it fixed. Fix one thing, something else would break.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, you know what? There's an ass for every seat. Somebody's ass is going to be in this seat other than mine, and I got rid of it.
Right. Everything's got
I
a
mean,
price.
oh yeah. I mean, when we come down to it, I'm an Oldsmobile guy.
Yeah.
My first car was an '86 Oldsmobile, supercharged.
You and the dad from A Christmas Story, right? Wasn't he an Oldsmobile
Absolutely.
guy?
You got to have the old Delta '88, man, or the old Cutlass Supreme. The old Cutlass Supreme was awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, had one a few years ago, and I got rid of it. You worked on your VW. You know what? I am not a Volkswagen fan. They have some of the dumbest over-engineered crap I have ever seen. You have to remove 15 things to get to one thing. I mean, it's just terrible.
The carpal tunnel went back to bad there, June. I see he had the surgery too. Yeah, I kept doing masonry and it just went back to the way it was. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, you broke it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what's recovery time when you feel better? I'm like, cool, 2 days. I was wrong.
J-Rock, I had an 85 cut Supreme that had hydraulics on it. I bought it that way and didn't know it. I bought it from an auction. And I sold it that way. I just got rid of it. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to put any money into this thing. Had this stupid, it was like this stupid wire going into the glove box when I bought the car. I'm like, somebody cut the springs on the car is what I thought. I didn't climb underneath of it, I opened the glove box and the little box fell out. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh shit. You're going. Bye-bye.
Every car
It had
wasn't
front and
100.
back and side to side. It didn't have very many switches, but it had enough. It was like the lower end of the lowrider. It was like somebody did that in their home garage. It definitely wasn't professional. I promise you that. I've had a car on airbags. Those are pretty cool. But
lowrider.
yeah, not a low. I like the lowrider. My next car that I buy is probably going to be a 78, 79, or 80 Monte Carlo. If you've ever seen the movie Training Day, you'll know the car I'm talking about. That black
yeah.
Monte Carlo in that movie is sexy. I actually have a Monte Carlo emblem tattooed on my left calf
Oh man!
and an Oldsmobile emblem on the right.
Every car I had that wasn't a Honda or Toyota died on me before 100,000 miles.
I currently have a 16 Honda Odyssey with 125,000 miles on it. And that's when my wife drives that. But me, I'm rolling a 2013 Ford Fusion.
Oh, those are good.
That thing is terrible.
What? I heard good things about it.
1.6 liters of pure fury. It's got 27,000 miles on it, and I cannot stand that car.
Oh, man.
I like the fact that it's a good, reliable car, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I hated my Civic, too.
Good evening, Mexicali. I loved my Civic, man. I had a 2001 Civic LX. I would trade my Ford for it right now, head up, and it's probably got 250,000 miles on it, missing the front bumper. I see it every day.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just get claustrophobic really easily in little cars. But, like, my
I
Camry
love
is
my
like
little car.
with 132,000 miles already, and it's still going strong. But the technology in that thing is so stupid sometimes. As long as it lasts, though, I'm good.
You gotta get an old Honda. The
Yeah.
older ones are awesome. I had an '88 Accord. It was the first year the fuel injection had to flip up headlights. That thing was badass. Little
I've been
five
looking for
speed.
some of those. They're hard to find, man. Like I was looking for just cars from my high school years, like the mid '90s. Good luck. I was even looking for the old like box body style Escorts and stuff. I couldn't find
Man,
anything in New England with that.
You won't, man. You ain't gonna find those anymore. Those are hard to find. I had a couple
Yeah.
of station wagon Escorts, but
Yeah. My dad drove one into a flood in the mid '90s. He pulled the thing out, took it apart, put it back together, and it drove for another 4 years. We never got the mud off the seats. Damn thing still drove though. I was like, every time you sat in it, man, dust flew out of the seats. I was like, I'd love one of those right now, but no bodies left, but all the engines are somewhere, I guess.
you know what I'm looking for is another car. I'm looking for the bubble body early '90s Chevy Caprice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Though I have one of those. Those things are awesome.
One of the last reliable Chevys.
I had a '91. I bought it off of. I had my appendix explode, and I was coming home. My dad actually brought me home from the hospital, and it was sitting on the side of the road in this dude's yard. It was sitting on big 22-inch wheels, man. I'm like, I like the car, but I don't like the wheels. I'm like, I'll go back in a couple of days and take a look at it. So finally, when I was able to move around and stuff, we went back and I looked at it. I took it for a test drive. And while I was gone, my dad was already negotiating for me. I mean, he already haggling with the dude. The dude wanted I think he wanted like $2,500 for this car. I ended up buying this car for $1,300.
Oh, wow.
I took the wheels off of it and sold the wheels. I got $900 for the wheels. I paid $400 for the car.
Perfect.
Wow.
I drove that thing. It was never seen winter. So I'd never seen the salt in Ohio because we salt the hell out of our roads. And we love to kill our cars with salt. And, I never drove it in winter. I always put it either in the garage or I covered it outside on jack stands. And I mean, I had the lower quarter panels and stuff replaced on it. And man, I sold that thing to this lady. I was hesitant to sell it to her, but I sold it to her. And I'm driving down the highway coming home, and it is sitting on the side of the highway, the front bumper past the windshield on the roof. Her boyfriend was drunk and slammed into the back of an F-350 with it. He survived. The car didn't.
Oh,
And
man.
I knew it was my car because it was the only Caprice running around the city of Cleveland, Ohio, with Corvette Z06 tips kicked out the sides behind the back tires.
Oh, man.
I was quite upset.
Oh, man.
I had a lot of money in that car.
Oh, damn.
I had like $4,500 in having the quarter panels replaced on the lower part of it.
Yeah.
So
All of
my Oscars have this thing when they're hungry, they like to hit the heater in one of the tanks, or they like to mess with the wave maker in the tank just to get my attention.
your Oscars?
Yeah,
It's not your tank, it's theirs.
they're like, feed me. My fish fast on Sundays.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yesterday was flakes only day for my fish, and they were like at the glass like crackheads like the whole day after.
The 200 SX. I remember that car.
Oh, man.
My grandfather had one as his midlife crisis. I remember that.
It did look fast, just parked. He's not lying.
My grandpa, like you were talking about a 1988 Honda Accord earlier, my Cuban grandpa on my mom's side had one of those for like over 20 years. And like my mom finally got him to trade that thing in for a new car because she's like, you look dirt poor driving that thing. Come on. This was like 2013. Like he was the cheapest man on the planet. Like you
He'd
look
still be
at him,
driving
look
it
at the
right
way
now
he
if you hadn't
dresses.
traded it in.
Well, he's dead now, but like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I've
You'd
always
be
been the
driving it
grandpa
right now
car.
if you hadn't.
Absolutely.
I probably would.
I'm the grandpa car kind of guy, man. I like the old school cars. I like the bigger cars, but one of my favorite cars I've ever drove, and this is going to sound just stupid, but like the early 90s Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra, little 4-door, just good looking car, comfortable, had a 3.3 liter V6 in it. The thing would do 145 miles an hour. I mean, it was a great car. I'm not even going to lie. I had my little Ford Fusion on the highway racing my boss. He's got a Jeep, got a Grand Cherokee with a 4-point slow in it. That's what I told him. And I was 135 miles an hour in my little Ford, and he was way back there somewhere. Welcome, Danny's Aquatics.
Yeah. I miss my 04 Suburban.
That's a big car.
Oh, yeah. But it was so comfortable. And I learned how to drive in that thing. So, like, I still find trucks and SUVs actually easier to drive than little sedans.
I took my driving test in a 97 GMC Jimmy. I did the maneuverability and everything in it.
Oh, wow.
I did mine in a 93 Ford Aerostar minivan.
The old Aerostar.
Oh, hell yeah. That was my high school ride, man. Everybody loved it. We could fit 12 people in that thing.
Oh, man. When the driving instructor was walking up to me, like he looked up and he just stopped and he was just like, really? That big ass thing? Come on.
You know what? They do the 8 spark plugs on a 4-cylinder in a Ford Ranger as well. It's actually for better fuel economy. But however, I don't care what you do to a Ford Ranger, it's not getting good fuel economy. That thing is a brick with a small engine in it. But they did that with that was the Ford and Nissan. There was a bunch of them that were together on that design of engine. It's terrible. That's like the new Chryslers, the Hemi. They have 16 spark plugs. You go to change your spark plugs on a Hemi with 16 spark plugs, you're going to go in there and be like, huh? You want how much? Yeah, like $1,000, bro, to change the spark plugs at some shops. That's stupid. And then on top of that, the newer ones are like iridium spark plugs.
Yeah. All these crazy things that car manufacturers these days are doing to like get squeeze as much like fuel economy as possible. It's stupid. Like my Toyota has like an 8-speed automatic transmission. I'm like, okay, Toyota, stop there. Like, don't start with the turbos and all that crazy stuff.
Chevy love.
Man, I have not
That's
seen
awesome.
or heard anybody say that in years. Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Man, I'm looking for a like an Estates wagon, the Caprice Estates wagon. I think one of those.
The 2 seats going down the backside.
Absolutely. I think
There.
one of those
Sit at
would be
each other and
cool.
wave. Yeah.
Put you a big LS7 in it, supercharged, lower to the ground like a Pro Touring style. I think that would
That's
be
right.
that would be neat.
Show up to a car show in that.
I've always wanted to upset people. I wanted to take the most ridiculous thing ever, like my minivan. I'd love to set that on air ride. I'd love to LS swap it, and I'd like to pull up to a car show and just set it on the ground and just get out. People just look at you like you're crazy because you did something to something you shouldn't have done it to. And that's what hot rodding is, basically.
Yeah.
It's like fish keeping. We do things our way. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
makes
man.
the hobby interesting.
Yep.
You know?
I do it the lazy way.
You know what? I am going to try something that I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm going to try the father fish method of a fish tank. I'm going to try it on a small scale. So basically, that is going to be an experiment that I honestly don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm going to take a 10-gallon tank. I'm going to put about that much dirt in the bottom of it. I'm going to cap it with about 3 inches of sand. I'm going to stuff it full of plants. I'm going to put a cycled filter on it, though. That I'm going to do. That way I have a cycle. And then once everything's up and running, I'm going to remove the filter. I'm going to see if it can do what he says it can do.
Yeah, I'd like to test that myself too.
That's the theory I want to test.
Yeah.
Because, I've had people tell me you can't run a like an Oscar tank on sponge filters only. Incorrect. Right down here. Dead serious. I got a 75-gallon tank right at my legs right here. It has one Oscar in it, and it is ran on 4 Aquarium Co-op sponge filters. One's on a power head, and one is on his new, like, whatever that thing is he just put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
The pipe,
easy
yeah.
flow tube.
I'm going to test that out. I'm on my way. I just messed up my shoulder reaching around like that.
There we go.
God.
That was his tank earlier.
Oh, wow.
He is he's growing, he's healthy. He's actually a good looking fish.
Wow.
But yeah, they tell me you can't do it. And I ran my South American 125 on, what is it? Let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 large sponge filters. One's got a 400-gallon an hour power head on the top, and the other one's on air. And then I decided to just add, the canister I had just so I could keep the cycle going.
Oh, man, when I set up my 240-gallon, I'm going to be adding a third canister filter on top of what I have. I'm not going to be buying any more fish, and I'm only going to do water changes like once a month.
3 canister filters. It's got 2 Aquatop FZ5s and 1 Marine Land 360. Yeah, baby.
I got an Aquatop CF500 UV Mark II.
And believe it or not, I'm going to buy an FX6 when I get back from Mexico, and I'm going to drop 2 of those canister filters off of it for other tanks. An FX6 along with that Marine Land should be enough on that to go with the sponge filters that's in it as well. Because right now, I just cleaned the 1 filter last night, and it wasn't even all that dirty.
Oh, wow.
Like my 1 Oscar right here, her canister filter was way more dirty than that 240. And she's 1 fish. There's like 25 fish in it.
So Brandon, what do you have? You have a 125 that we're looking at behind you, right? That you're replacing with a 240?
Close, 135. And the way I set it up is so stupid. Like back in 2018, apparently my local PetSmart let you buy the stand separately. And this 135 was on sale at a local fish store. And it fit perfectly. It's like the only difference is it's 1 inch taller.
Okay.
But now the stand is giving out on me. So I'm decided, okay, I'm replacing this tank. And at first I was thinking, okay, I'll get a 180-gallon. But then my dad's like, wait, you're going from a 6-foot tank to another 6-foot tank? That's stupid. So he talked me into getting a 240.
And it's 8 foot, so you're gonna have to build the stand and everything, or is it all a thing coming together?
It's coming with a stand, a real stand made out of actual wood. But it's going to be sketchy getting it down the hallway and through this door. We're going to have to stand it up on one end and slowly slide and lower it in.
Yeah.
And
That's scary.
oh yeah.
Frightening.
And I'm afraid of losing
Very,
fish
very
too.
frightening.
I got some
I
large
heard you saying you
roseline
got to put the
sharks.
fish.
What?
Yeah. So I heard you saying you had to put the fish in a bucket for a day or whatever it's going to be while you're doing the whole swap.
Oh yeah, the tank has to go in this exact same spot. The fish are going to be going in large plastic bins, and I have some large roseline sharks or denison barbs, and I bought some of them already that size, and they were not cheap. If I lose them, I'm going to be mad.
Welcome, Jimmy P.
Jimmy P.
Hi, Jimmy.
Oh.
Another Jim. Jim cubed.
Oh. Oh.
That might be
That
too
would-
much. I don't know. Let's hold off. Right?
That might be a little bit too much, Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know
we
if 3
can't
Jims is going to make it right. It might make a left then.
do that.
We get Jimmy P in here and start harping on him because of his age like other people do.
Dude,
No,
last
hold
night,
on, Jimmy P.
last night they were giving Garcia hell in a live stream. I was on Vibes' live stream. I mean, they were giving Garcia hell. I kind of felt bad for the dude. They were cracking on him. It was Mexicali that was cracking all of them too. That dude has some killer old dude jokes.
Oh, they would give Jimmy P like crap for being old, but like I'd be in the chat like, to me, you guys are all old.
Man, I remember when I was your age. If I could go back and do it all over again, I think I'd do it the same.
And the one thing I hate about being young is that I'm not rich like all the older people.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. The older you get, the harder you work, the less money you have. That is the American way.
Oh man,
It's
Seriously.
shocking.
taxes.
Yeah.
I got to get out of California before I turn 30.
You know what, man? Ohio is not bad. It really isn't. The only thing I don't like is I don't like the weather. I don't like the salt. And most of the people are just rude.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part. Like California's weather just is superior compared to like most other states. But
In all fairness, you made Ohio sound awful with all the things you just said. Immediately following, Ohio is not bad.
No, man, we have decent weather. If you live close to the lake, you're going to suffer because, I mean, it gets humid. I mean, it's humid. But other than that, I mean, we got a lot of like national parks. We got a lot of good fishing areas. Lake Erie's actually not that bad. I would just recommend staying away from the Cuyahoga River. They say it's okay now, but I still don't believe it. It caught on fire in like 69. How does water burn? Explain that to me. But, you know, it's not terrible, man. I mean, we have a lot of good things here. We have a lot of museums. I mean, the national park system here is like awesome, man. You can ride from like Northeast Ohio at the top, like up by the lake. You can ride a bicycle from there all the way to like Akron, which is pretty much close. I don't know, like a third of the state long. You can ride a bicycle on a trail that long. And along that's all kinds of things you can stop and see. We have like locks and things of that nature. I mean, it's actually not bad. A lot of wildlife. It's not terrible.
I like wildlife.
We do deer, I mean, skunk, possums, everything you can think of. And
Don't
occasional
come to
crackheads.
Massachusetts.
Occasional crackheads. Just saying. I've been to Massachusetts. I've been to Dedham twice.
Yeah.
I used
Poor
to,
fella.
yeah, I know.
Ever been to Florida?
I haven't been to Florida in 20 years.
A lot. I wouldn't even have to go to fish stores. I can just go fishing and get fish for free.
You know what, man? If I was in Florida, I would have a lot more Oscars because there's a bunch of places down there. Oscars are just wild.
Oh man, there's like 2-foot plecos everywhere, and I so badly wanted to take one home.
You know what, man? Go to your local fish. You go to like your local fish store that sells them. Buy a common pleco. Give it, I don't know, a year. You'll have one that long.
Oh yeah, I actually recently got rid of a foot-long gold spot pleco because when I converted this tank to like fully planted, I noticed that plants were like floating around, and I'm like, oh no. Okay, you're evicted. You're out of here. But like, if I moved to Florida, I'd get like a bunch of large tanks, and like one of them at least will have a big pleco.
I was in I was in Dallas, Texas, in the middle of August one time, man. That is a hot place. I mean, that is probably the hottest place I think I've ever been. Interesting fact, we went to Vegas for our honeymoon. We went in November, right? It's like 60 degrees out there. These people are walking around with coats on. I'm walking around in t-shirt and shorts. And they're just looking at me like, what are you doing? I said, aren't you cold? I said, dude, I'm from Ohio. It's like 12 degrees right now. This is warm.
It goes down to 40 degrees here at night in the winter, and I'm like all bundled up.
Yeah, 40 degrees. I'm outside working on a car in a t-shirt.
Man,
So I can still do T-shirts, but last year I officially became old. I don't think I put shorts on one day last summer. It was like long pants every day. I have no idea. 43 hit, and I was like, I'm cold all the time now.
oh man.
Now I'm 44, and it's like, oof. I wear
know
a
what?
Snuggie everywhere I go.
I was the kid that used to stand at the bus stop in the middle of winter in shorts and a hoodie.
You were that guy.
I was that kid. Somebody actually called social services on my mother because I was in shorts in the middle of winter.
Good God.
God.
I'm like, really? I run warm. I have clothes. I'm not that poor. I mean, I may have grew up in the ghetto, but damn, I'm not that poor. I have clothes. I promise you.
My mom's Cuban, so she would be yelling at me to put on a jacket when it was like 70 degrees outside. It's like, and then we go to Florida, the AC in our extra house doesn't work. So like and I'm like, woman, fix the AC. And she's like, but it feels so nice. It's like 90 degrees and humid as hell. And she's like, well, I'm Cuban. I like it all hot and humid. I'm like, well, your two white kids are freaking melting.
We're snow cones. We're melting. Leave us alone.
It's like, she raised me in California. What did she expect?
Here in Ohio, everybody gripes when it's cold in the winter. They want it to be warm, but the minute it gets warm outside, they got the windows up and the air on.
That's why spring and fall are perfect.
You know what, man? If it is the only time I really want to turn the air on is if it's going to be like 75 or 80 degrees at night. I got to be cold when I sleep. I'm a polar bear. I got to be cold. I can sleep in a freezer. That'd be fine. I can sleep in a morgue probably comfortably. I'm just saying. It's got to be cold.
Yeah. I won't even sleep at my
the only
mom's
place I put the AC every summer is in my room.
Yeah. I don't sleep at my mom's house anymore. It's terrible there. Like, she will not fix the AC or the heater. Like, she's the cheapest woman on the planet, just like my grandpa. She will not fix any of the ventilation or nothing that has to do with heating and air conditioning. So it's miserable there.
That's a generational thing, though, man. If somebody grew up poor, they're gonna be very tight on what they spend money on. I've noticed that. My wife's grandma, she grew up. Apparently she was pretty poor, and she is not very poor anymore. She's really not poor anymore, and she is tighter than most people are with money.
Yeah, my mom is crazy. Like, they came from Cuba with like nothing, and then like they worked minimum wage jobs when they got here, and then all of a sudden, like, my grandpa dies with like $2.5 million in the bank. I'm like, how is that possible?
I wish I had $2.5 million. I'd retire tomorrow.
Same here. I didn't see a dime of that inheritance yet.
I could probably get lost with $2.5 million.
Welcome, Lucky. Lucky's in Puerto Rico. Lucky, if I went to Puerto Rico, I would probably never come back home.
I have cousins in Puerto Rico.
I would never leave. Animal instincts, we can get all 4 seasons in one day. It can be 65 degrees outside and then all of a sudden get, nice and a little cool and then go to cold and then snow. And then we're there. I mean, it's terrible. Yeah. But it's not a bad place to live. It's not expensive. You don't have to pay, $9 a gallon for friggin' gas. I don't know what your guys' gas price are. I think ours is around like $2.70, $2.80 a gallon.
I think we're 3.5.
Oh man. Like,
oh, come on, Mr. California. That thing's got to be just ridiculously high.
Dude, I laugh when people in other states complain about $3 per gallon because I'm like, that's California's low. Like, come on now. Like, the lowest I've ever seen it go, like in the amount of time I've been driving, was probably like $2.89.
You wish for snow in Alabama. Well, I'm sorry. If I lived in Alabama, I would never ask for snow.
I just got to drive 2 hours out to the mountains. I'll be in the snow.
Hey, it's 280 right now in Texas where Danny is.
Attaboy, Danny.
Gallon. I like Danny. Danny's a good dude. Danny's got a pretty cool fish room.
I know a lot of you Texas people like to say, don't California my Texas, but I have one favor to ask of the Texas people. Come out here and Texas it up, please. Like, leave the crappy weather behind, though, but please Texas California up. We need it. Like, my mom's basic house can sell for like $1 million. It's crazy. It's like a 1-story, 1,800 square foot house.
Garcia!
Finally.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
What's going on? $6 a gallon right now. Mexicali just told me it's $6 a gallon. Man, at $6 a gallon, I would push my car. Or I'd walk, maybe ride a bicycle.
I'll swallow my pride and get a Prius at that point.
Absolutely. Lucky, what kind of fish do you have, man? Or what other fish do you have in there with your green terror female? He's having some aggression issues. I know green terror really doesn't get along with anything all that well. So, see what he says.
Instead of getting a Prius, why don't you just go ahead and get yourself a Ford Pinto?
The Ford Pinto.
Because it's a Ford.
Get a Ford Pinto or get a Geo Metro.
The 3-cylinder Metro. Hell yeah.
He has electric blue Acara in with a green terror. I don't think that's a very good mix. Green terrors are a little territorial, and the electric blue Acara is a peaceful fish, so you're definitely going to get some Debo in there.
I had an electric blue Acara in here with a bunch of peaceful fish, and that thing was peaceful as could be.
Yeah, I mean, my electric blue Acara, I have, 7 of them now, but they don't bother anybody unless they're breeding. If they're breeding, that's a whole different subject. But I believe you may want to get another tank for your green terror there, buddy. That's just me. I don't think I would.
Welcome.
So.
Let's say
My
that
electric blue
it's
car is
a
an a-hole.
See,
Sorry
I don't
to
have that
interrupt you.
experience. Mine are great.
Yeah.
Sorry
My
to
electric
interrupt,
blue.
but I got to do this the right way. How you doing, Happy Blaze, Shamu, and Jim, and everybody else in the chat? How you doing? Garcia's like,
We're doing, Garcia. We're doing.
That's right.
we're doing good. We're doing.
They
And
can
my
breed
electric
together.
blue Acara jumped out, so
You know what, man? They are good for that. I had one smack. I actually had 2 of them jump out and smack the floor, right? They lived for a minute. I got them, put them back in the tank. They were fine. They jumped out the next day, and my cat didn't even eat them. I had a cat down here at the time. Figured that'd have been a free snack for the cat. She never ate them.
Yeah.
I come down in the basement. She's just pointing at him like, your fish fell out, idiot.
well, when mine jumped out, like nobody was home to save his ass. So and I found him dried up on the floor, and I'm like, man, I'm not getting another one. So
Don't worry, mine. None of them have jumped yet.
You know what, man? I have this Oscar in a 240. My Tiger Oscar, when I had him in a 50 on the other side of the wall over here, he jumped out, slid underneath the stand. I had to move the stand out with a 50-gallon tank on top of it, which we all know isn't light, just to get this fish so it wouldn't die. And you see, he's doing great. And he was out of the water for probably, I'm going to say, a good minute and a half, 2 minutes.
3 tops.
Man, we'll say 3 tops. It had a little bit of, maybe a little bit of cat hair on it, some things that were creepy crawly down there, but I mean, it survived.
The 90-second rule.
Yeah, 90-second rule.
Yeah.
It's a short body green terror. Man, I've had a couple of green terrors in my life, and every one I had were terrified of each other. So the ones I had were peaceful, but sounds like you got one that's kind of an a-hole. I would probably move it. If you like your Acara, I would probably move to green terror, because you're going to come and probably find your Acara dead, because they're not really going to fight back.
Yep.
However,
No fins, no eyes, mouth wide open.
picked clean.
And he's just gonna be saying, he's just like you say, Gar, hell.
Garcia!
my uncle had like a green terror kill a Jack Dempsey back in the day. So yeah, those guys are mean.
Man, have you guys seen the video where I posted of my Jaguar that its back was missing? Oh, dude, I had 2 Jaguars, right? I put them in a 50-gallon holding tank. I was trying to get some stuff set up to where I could separate them.
Oh shit, that was you?
That was me. This thing had the entire its back was missing. I mean, gone. The other Jaguar tore this Jaguar up. I'm like, well, I'm going to move this one, and if it survives, I guess I'm going to keep it. I got rid of the other one. I rehomed it. Man, this fish, its entire back is grown back. It's gorgeous. Looks great. Can't even tell it was ever hurt. They're a pretty good fish. It's a pretty good fish.
By keeping piranhas, they'll do crazy things to each other.
My buddy had 5 of them. He went to bed one night. He woke up. He had 1.
God.
The one went psycho, killed the whole tank.
So the one that survived was the killer. Psycho killer. Oh,
Hey, man.
sucker.
Survival of the fishes.
Speaking of fish jumping, like the only time I've had these rose lines, which are known for being jumpers, the only time they've ever jumped out of my tank was like right in front of me when I'm doing water changes, and they get like cornered by the siphon or whatever. But that's why I have to make sure they're like on the far other side when I'm like gravel vacuuming over here. But bala sharks, those guys are psycho.
Well, the other day, I almost lost my finger.
I keep 2-pound weights on my aquarium lids, just in case.
Especially with Oscars.
I almost lost my finger because of my damn Florida guard.
Oh man,
Man, I'm gonna have to check out some of your tanks there, bro.
I opened the top, the canopy, and let me go ahead and feed them. After I open it up, my left hand, I have it right in the corner, and I keep forgetting that that's his favorite corner. And I know what? He was just inches to get my finger. I was, oh, wait a minute. You here. I forgot you there. He would have had my finger.
oh man. Somebody
See you
told me.
later, Danny. Have a good night, brother.
Good night, Danny.
Good night,
Hi,
Danny.
So I had another Tiger Oscar. Used to be in her tank. This one right here. Used to be on the other side of my fish room. I had the Tiger Oscar, and I come downstairs one night and I flipped on just the other room light because there's two different switches that do both sides. I had on just the one. It turned on one central light that lights up the hallway coming down. This fish smacked off one side of the 75, smacked off the other, hit the bottom, shot straight up, knocked the lid off of the 75. I mean, completely off. It was up and turned. He swam down. He smacked off the lava rock that's in this tank and was bent in a U on the bottom of the tank. I'm like, man. I'm looking at the lid. I thought he broke the lid. He hit it that hard. And I'm looking at the fish, and he's bent in a perfect U. He broke his spine. He was dead on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I've had two of these rose lines.
That long.
And
He just
like-
went,
This canopy right here,
yeah.
by me trying to pick it up now, I can't. That's how heavy that thing is.
Is that just because you're old?
Don't you effing start. Okay? And you know what, guys? And everybody in the chat, respect your elders.
Whoa. Hey, wait a minute. I'll tell you right now that with my grandparents, it's like another one of those, this is why young people don't listen to you guys no more moments every other day.
He's the baby in the chat, man.
Say what now?
Yeah.
Let me just stay quiet on that one.
Oh,
Shamu is one of the best. I just got to keep it that way.
I'm a youngin'.
he is a youngin', that's for a fact.
I started feeling old as soon as I turned 22, though.
You're 25, right?
I think he's 23.
He's frozen.
Frozen in time.
That's right. I don't think I would have picked 25. I don't think I remember too much of 25.
You know what, man? I'm gonna say 18 to 25 is a blur.
Yeah.
There was a lot of powder involved, a lot of drinking,
Yep.
a lot of different things. Definitely was nothing like this. This is peaceful compared to what that was for me. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
we'll have to wait for him to come back. He froze, or he got a phone call.
Yeah,
But I mean,
the reason why I was asking if he was 25 because my son is 26, and my youngest is 19, and they're both Jolly Green Giants, both of them.
I got
Yeah.
no kids.
My youngest, he's 6'5", and my oldest is 6'3",
How tall are you?
5'11".
That's a good size. 5'11's a good size, man. She said we all could be her kid or grandkids.
5'11" and hold whistle.
I got nothing to show.
Hey,
No
man. You know what? I'll tell you like I tell everybody else. You say maybe not a happy place. I'm 42. I'm a baby still.
Self-declared baby.
Self-declared. Well, in this chat right at the moment, I am.
That's
Hey,
right.
June, did you saw the flex? Did you see the gun, June?
Hey, man. If you got it, hey, sun's out, guns out.
That's right.
Oh, I try to keep the guns in, man.
I don't want to scare people.
I don't tan very well, man. I pull these things out and it's white. It's a white out. I mean, seriously.
I call it frog belly white. That's the color of my skin.
I am hyper white.
And if I be in the sun too long, I won't be red. I'll be red for a little bit. Then out of nowhere, I'm just like a black coffin.
You know what, man? As bad as it sounds, in the summertime, if I'm outside and I tan real good, I look Latino. Not even gonna lie. I got a lot of Native American in me, so my skin's oily, and I don't bake. I fry. And then once the fry is gone, once the frying's gone, yeah, once the frying's gone and the red leaves, I am dark.
I remain frog belly white at all times, or I go crab red. It's one of those two.
Crab red.
Oh, his phone died. Oh,
Got to keep a charger handy, young man.
that's why this generation they be on that phone for life. They be like, "Where's the Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi?"
I can pick
The
one.
Wi-Fi is go home. What? Go home. I can't go home. What's the Wi-Fi? Go home.
Man, do you remember the days when we didn't have the internet? What we did to entertain ourselves?
He's doing a lot of crazy shit.
Man, I used to ride bikes.
He's back. Behave, guys. He's back. The youngin is back.
Yeah, I know. We got to stop talking about all the gorgeous girls that were just here.
Yeah, right. No, he left again. Then when you hear this old people talk. Oh,
Only
back in my
Oscar
day.
says she's half ginger.
Good man.
Oh.
Actually, with all this gray, I think I'm only half ginger at this point.
Man, look at all. I've had all this gray since I was like 16. Seriously, I've been rocking gray hair since I was 16. I'm going for the bald look next, man. Look at it. Look at that. That's
I
what I'm
went.
saying.
I started going. Put it this way. Back in my time, I used to have a afro because I never had straight hair. Always been an afro, and I did that Kid and Play, the flat top. I was relaxing with that flat top. Then one day I said, "You know what? It's time for a different haircut. Let me just take it all off." So I just said, "Let me just go bald. Let me just show my shiny bald head." And I'm like, "It's okay." And my hair's growing back, and nothing's growing back in the middle. It's what the hell happened?
Man, I did that whole Eminem thing with the frosted tips. I went blonde for a minute. The 90s were weird. Actually, the late 90s,
was.
early 2000s was a weird time, man.
And you know what was
God.
the worst? Dyed my hair blonde, my eyebrows blonde, my mustache blonde, and everybody was like, "What the hell is that?"
Animal Instinct said he is 37 and he is salt and pepper like crazy. You know what they say, man? That makes you more distinguished.
Enough for nothing. Since I've been on YouTube for like give and take like 2-3 years, I saw my very first video. I saw you see all my black hair. I was like, I still got it. I still got it. Then I know it. White. And now that I'm like in my third year, I believe. And then when I looked, I'm like, damn, I'm really old. Getting too old.
Man, if I go back to the beginning of mine, you don't see me. I didn't put myself in the video until I did the 65-gallon tank. I replaced the top on it. I didn't appear in the video until then. I
Like Jim,
was that person that didn't want my face out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, if I'm cursed with this, I'm going to share it with everybody. All right.
Hey, you know what? I'm about that right now. I'm about that life right now.
And look what Animal Instincts had to say. Garcia had the Hulk
Yeah, the
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
On. I did that once. I had the handle.
Dies again, I'm giving up.
Got to plug it in, my friend.
Yeah, it is like the first attempt, like it all of a sudden just stopped charging and died again. But this time I'm making sure it's actually charging. Yep, we're good.
Get a real charger. Stop getting those cheap chargers.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's right on that, man. Them lightning cables have to be authentic.
And the only way you could have a good charger if you stop buying fish.
You know what? I'm going to go with that bootleg charger then. I got that from $1.25.
The gas station got it cheaper.
I don't know, man. You can't get any cheaper than $1.25 from the Dollar Tree. That's pretty cheap.
Stop wasting your money on $10 fish and get a $2,500 fish tank instead.
That's what we do.
That's why I'm trying to work on my 240. That soon will happen.
She said, there are fish channels that don't show fish. You are absolutely right.
I was going to say that earlier. Like all these big channels, like they're at a point now where it's like, what do you guys have again?
They became product pushers and salesmen.
Yep.
You know, man, every one of my videos, there's a fish in it. I don't care if it's it's a dead fish or if it's what it is. I'm going to be clear and transparent, man. These fish die. I show it. It is what it is. You're going to have somebody that's new to the hobby. They're going to come in and be like, oh, well, this guy's fish is this and this is this. Well, no, it's not how it works, man. Your fish are going to die. I promise you. You're going to lose more fish keeping fish than you keep healthy when you first start. Then once you get the hang of it, you'll have fish.
The good
I
old
always like the fish channels that get it. You go. Oh my God, something's happening at that guy's house. I always like the people that have a fish and they show their brand new fish and then they never show the fish again. What happened to the fish, man?
Plug up arrow.
Drives me nuts.
I ate it. What was that, Shimon? What'd you say?
Paul Cafaro?
No, you don't do that.
He used to. He's good now.
The reason why I'm coming up for him is he's my buddy. He's not too far from me.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Garcia?
I'm in West Palm.
Nice.
And Paul Cafaro is in Jupiter.
I actually started to like his videos a lot more over the past year. Like he's actually like doing pretty damn good now.
Yeah, he's doing better. It's that you're young, and he's younger than you. But when you start at a young age, you do whatever just to get views and get put content out and all that. And yes, you're gonna be killing fish and all that, but you think you know everything, but you don't. And then if the adults kind of give you a little bit of an advice and everything, you young kids that is, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. We know what we're talking about because we've been there.
Welcome, J&N Aquatics.
Hi,
And I'm
J&N.
sorry for seeing that, Shamu, but
Yep.
I'm straightforward. I'm a straightforward person. And that's why sometimes some people don't like me and some people like me. You
That is
get
correct.
what you get.
Oh, I respect it.
You know
Look
what?
at earliest YouTube videos, you guys will have heart attacks. Like my fish keeping practices were awful. I've been doing this since I was 13, like on YouTube.
Brother, my first fish was a goldfish I won at a fair. It had one eye. I had it in a 10-gallon tank. When that goldfish died, it was that long in a 10-gallon tank. So, yeah, I understand. We all mess up when we're young, but I learned from it. And only Oscars is right. Aquarium Co-op really don't show fish anymore. We are all about pushing them products. And that's still a sore subject with me, man. It really is, because I have told that dude on a number of occasions that he is the reason why I got into this as hard as I did. Flat out, he's the reason why I have 50 fish tanks.
Oh man,
I watched one video and it was a rabbit hole from there.
I think a lot of us would say that.
Don't worry about me because when I started watching YouTube after I had my heart attack, I ended up going to my shed get my 65, that's right here. Started off with that tank. Then went to Petco. They had the $1 sale. Bought more tanks, and I ended up with at least about 30 or 40 tanks in my house. I was just getting out of control. But then I started seeing 150s, 125s, free, $100. I was just like, I'm getting those big tanks, and I'm gonna get rid of all these small ones. And then I meet my local breeder. I says, "You need tanks?" He goes, "Yeah, I like that big one right there." He goes, "No, that one is staying, but you can take all the small ones you want." He goes, "Okay." So now he got all the small tanks and mostly all my some of my nano fishes that I gave him.
Yeah.
And the worst one that I gave him that everybody hates, the convicts. I had the black convicts and the pink convicts. I go, do not put that female with that male there. You're gonna have baby. He goes, I'm a breeder. I'm a breeder. I go, as soon as you start, nobody's gonna buy it. The local fish stores won't get it, so you won't have it. You're gonna be stuck with it. He goes, no, I'll get rid of it. Damn, Garcia, you were right. I'm stuck with this. I goes, well, just put it in the back, go in the back of your house. You got that big pond back there. Just dump all of them in there. Let them breathe. And don't worry about it, because you told me already you got red-tailed catfish back there, and you got a tiger shovelnose in there. That's free food for them. So
Free
just put
food,
them in there.
correct. I do think fair fish should be stopped. I don't think you should be able to win a goldfish by throwing a ball into a cup. That's terrible. Those fish, they have terrible lives. I agree. What's cracking, Vibes? Welcome.
Vibes.
Oh, is that Fisher-Biz or Vibes?
The only reason I only have one tank is because I'm only allowed to have one tank, and that rule is so strict that if I even brought in like a little 5-gallon beta tank into this house, I'll come home from work the next day to both that little beta tank and this tank both gone. My hobby will be shut down by my family immediately.
Do you got space under your stand?
I got what?
Do you got space under your stand?
No. I will under the 240 though.
Well, you can put some tanks there and close the doors. That's it.
Yeah, I'll put the 20. I'll probably put like a 20-gallon quarantine tank under there.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep,
If you can't see it, you don't know it's there.
exactly.
That's like my fish room, man. Like if you look at my fish room,
But
everybody's
now your parents are gonna be watching this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, so you got some ideas from these old guys?"
You're gonna make him take the doors off his cabinet.
They don't know what my channel's called, so
oh, that would be wrong.
dude.
You know what,
My
man? I
life
got
is
lucky. I got a
so
wife
private.
that supports me.
Like my parents know nothing about me. Like when I was in like freshman year of high school, they were always on my ass, and that's just when I started keeping my life a total secret from them.
I promise you, young man, your parents know more than you think they do. I promise you. They always do. They know shit about you nobody else does. I promise you. Hey, Vibes, why don't you click on that link and get in here, bro?
I can't right now. I'm having cottage cheese, and I'm about to go see my friends.
African dwarf frogs. Tank got bigger as I got older. 1 tank to 50 tanks, now running a business.
Oh man.
You know what, man? I've thought about breeding and selling fish. I can't bring myself to sell them. I got probably 100 electric blue acara right now in a grow out or 10-gallon tank, growing out a little bit.
Man, my
So
future plans just involve like 3 or 4 125-gallon tanks and plus the 240 or something. But that's what we all say.
I've got 2 125s and a 240.
65, 150, another 150, and all the way at the other end is my 125, and sooner or later, my 240. Oh,
I'm so basic. Like I actually had a dream where like I inherited like this fish room full of tanks, and I was going around like, all right, combine those 255s into a 125, combine those 275s into a 180. But
I got
probably
this. I got this 240 dirt cheap. That's the only reason why I have it. I mean, I went to we have the Ohio Fish Rescue. They have their little yard sale, and I bought that tank for $200.
Lucky. I wasn't even allowed to buy a used tank. I'm like showing my dad a used like 240 gallon on Facebook Marketplace, and he's like, "Hell no, you got to get brand new."
You don't have to necessarily buy brand new.
My family's weird about stuff like that.
Out of the 13 Oscar tanks, only one is less than a 240 gallon. Only Oscar's has got to have like she's got to have like a warehouse.
I was gonna say he's got a barn.
I believe it's a she, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Only
Sorry,
Oscars is rich.
Vibes over here. Maybe Vibes is scared of the camera. Man, you've been doing your lives and all that. How you gonna be scared of the camera? Come on, Vibes.
So Vibes, we got a question for you. There's 2 gems on this panel. Which one did you subscribe to?
That is a damn fine question.
That is a damn fine question.
Hey, Vibes, by any chance, did you unsubscribe to? Did you unsubscribe? Because it looks like I lost a subscriber. Was that you?
You know what, man? The other day I had somebody just keep subscribing and unsubscribing to me. They did it probably 10 times.
Wow.
I'm like, either make your mind up. You either want to be part of my channel and watch the growth or you don't. I'm not trying to be rude, man, but that's just, are you that indecisive? Do you make that same decision when you're standing at McDonald's, whether you want to order that quarter pounder or do you want the Big Mac? You tell that lady 10 times, I'll take the quarter pounder. No, I want the Big Mac. It's just weird.
Quarter pounder all the way.
Man, I agree with you. I can't stand the Big Mac. I don't
Hey,
think
thanks for that.
Vibes subscribed to me either.
Vibes, it looks like it's you because I had a nice, decent number, and then I know I'm just losing one. That has to be you, Vibes. If you want me to stop with the cottage cheese jokes, I'll stop.
I mean, what is he eating with that cottage cheese? Like half a peach? Maybe
Yeah.
a soft boiled egg?
He has it with who knows with what. Because that guy, he loves cottage cheese. He will have a beautiful brisket or whatever, and then you on the side, cottage cheese.
That's wild. I don't like cottage cheese, man. So I guess I'm in the wrong panel there.
But sometimes he'd be counting. You could tell he'd been counting how many turds are in there. How many he counts them all to make sure it's a complete one. But you can go back to the store and says, I'm not paying for that. It's missing something.
It's missing 2 curds out of the 500 that said it's supposed to be in there. That's wild. What is your take on the red-tail catfish, Garcia?
What was that?
What is your take on the red-tail catfish?
I love it. But those guys grow too freaking fast.
I
They just
agree.
like the pacu. They just like the pacus. They grow too fast. You don't enjoy them. But it's, oh, look how beautiful they are when they're small. Just keep feeding them, and then I know it. Weeks go by, and then a month. You're like, wait a minute. I remember getting that little thing like this, and now the thing is like this. What the hell?
I see people putting red-tailed catfishes on Facebook in like 55-gallon tanks, and they're like, "Oh well, I'll get him a bigger tank when he gets bigger." And I'm like, "Oh, so about 5 months from now, okay."
I see some of them that outgrow their tank in 2 months.
God,
People just power feeding their fish. Oh, he's driving, Garcia. Vibes is driving. That's why he doesn't want to be on the live. He's going to get more cottage cheese.
Exactly. He's gonna get a whole pallet full. He's gonna buy it by the bulk.
oh man,
Oh, you know what, man? My favorite fish is the arapaima. Hands down, it's the most beautiful fish I think there is.
I
You
love
should
those.
not be in the aquarium hobby. That thing belongs in the Amazon, not in your fish tank.
I think it's criminal if we don't mention that Animal Instinct said they have a double Big Mac now.
They have a double Big Mac? Man,
This word on the street is there is a double Big Mac.
Look at that. Look at that response that question that Brian's asking. A better in a 125 gallon. Is that too small?
It is. It really is.
Way
You
too
need
small.
a 300-gallon stock tank.
Needs a pond.
They
Yes,
belong
you
in
need
the wild,
one
not a
the size of
captivity.
my goldfish tank.
Yeah.
And
If you haven't seen that, that's
the Arapaima is one of the most beautiful fish.
absolutely.
If I ever hit the lotto, I'm gonna make sure I got a big, huge pond in the back of my house, and I'll stock it with Arapaimas in there.
The Ohio Fish Rescue has one. His name's Brutus. He's like 6 foot long. I got to hand feed that thing, dude. That's the closest I've ever been to one.
They have
That's
two.
that's I'm trying to work on that to go up there to Ohio Fish Rescue.
You know what, man? He has a lot of things there. He has a lot of fish that nobody wants. And as bad as this sounds, probably when my Jaguar gets too big for me to keep, that's probably where it's going to go. I mean, that sounds terrible because, you know, I should have did a little better research. That was one of them impulse buy. You know, I was like, it'll be all right. I'll put, you know, I got a 150-gallon stock tank I can put it in. Well, what kind of life is that for a fish to be in a 150-gallon stock tank? It can swim circles. It's not a life for that fish. So I will keep it until it gets too big for what I have it in, and then I will rehome it. But it will not go to somebody that has like a 240-gallon tank because that fish is going to probably be 16 to 18 inches long.
Yep.
You know, you're going to need a big tank.
Let me just say one thing. Jim, Shamu, Happy Place, thank you for having me here. But Garcia Aquatics got to jump down and get ready for his. So I'll see you guys next time. And
Thank you for being here, sir.
Good to meet you,
don't
man.
forget about, nice to meet you. And don't forget about Garcia Aquatics, the grumpy old man.
You know what, guys? It's probably going to be, and here in a couple minutes, I'm probably going to cut off because I got to eat dinner. My old lady made dinner. She's going to be mad at
Oh,
me if I
man.
don't eat it.
And
She made me chili,
Down
too.
up here.
I remember last time he said, "Oh, guys, I gotta get off. I gotta go eat." Then out of nowhere, hey, I'm here. How you guys doing?
Hey, I went and ate, and then I got on the chat.
You didn't eat. You didn't eat. You just went and dropped your juice, and then came back and said, "I'm here."
Nah, man, she makes some finger foods, man.
All right, I'm just kidding. All right, take it easy, guys.
All right,
Take
Garcia.
it
Hey,
easy,
you,
man.
Jim.
Good seeing you.
Jim, nice meeting you. Happy place.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
And you guys.
I can miss a meal only, Oscar. You're correct.
I do got to say, I really appreciate you guys having me. This is my first time ever doing this, like the first time I ever had time or energy.
Both of you guys, Jim and you, both. Jim's first
My
time
first
being on a
time.
live stream. You got enough subscribers to do a live stream, Jim?
Yeah. How many do I need?
I think there's a certain amount you got to have. I don't remember. I know I had to. I think it's a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have enough then.
Yeah.
2,000, but I think most of them are either bots or like just not active on YouTube anymore.
Let's see what Jimbo here is at. 371.
I'm at
I moved
371.
I get 371 subscribers.
Huh. That jumped up tremendously in the last hour, so it must be bots or something.
It's got to be because I had like 366 when I started this.
Yeah.
Thanks,
And I
Vaj,
heard-
but I'm not a professional.
And I currently have 250 videos. Look at that. I'm amazed they haven't taken the one video down because there's some profanity in it.
No, not profanity.
I mean, who the
no.
hell swears? Who cusses, man?
Would you say the S word?
I said no.
Oh boy.
Did you-
Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure you commented on the rant video, man.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
there was an F bomb
You
at
said
the
the
end
F-
of that.
the whole
I'll let
thing.
that one rip.
I
Oh,
drop
yeah.
bombs in my videos a lot.
I mean, I let a solid fuck go in. I didn't care. You know, dude, I will tell anybody this. I'm a mechanic. I have a foul mouth by nature. Okay, there's nothing like busting your knuckles wide open and you don't say some sort of foul word. I mean, it is gonna happen.
Yeah. And like to me, this is YouTube, not church. Like, come on.
You know what? I follow a guy who does custom cars out of his garage, Casey's Customs. This dude, after the intro was done, the gloves are off. I mean, he's dropping more cuss words than you can say. I mean, it is hilarious. I love the dude. The dude does decent work too. He takes like he took a BMW and he put a 1966 Mustang body on a BMW 335i.
Because
He had to
could.
widen it like 8 inches. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Only Oscar said her vocabulary shocks her. Mine shocks me too. The amount of cuss words that I can put together and formulate when I crack myself and start bleeding is just mind blowing.
Dude, I cuss a lot, and I actually forget that a lot of these words are cuss words.
Yeah. You know, to see you next Tuesday comes out of my mouth a lot at work.
Yes.
You know, the front of my one lift to the building beside us is probably about 45 or 50 feet away. I've chucked a 40-ounce hammer from there and smacked that building when it's square. So, and that was after busting my knuckles 2 or 3 times in the same spot. So, when you're a mechanic, anger is your friend.
Yeah. Now, the one word that I try not to use on YouTube, but I use it all the time, is the R word. But like, that's what I think of a lot of my fish when they try to jump out of the tank during water changes. But when people try to call me out for saying that, I'm like, yo, I'm autistic, and that word does not bother me. Come on.
You know
So
what,
being
man? It's
my
like,
age, the first time I ever heard the R word, like I didn't know it was considered the R word, and until somebody told me that, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I didn't even know that was like a considered a swear at this point.
Yeah, like they consider it a slur.
100%
And,
right.
like, people
Yeah.
find out I'm autistic, and then all of a sudden they stop saying that word. And I'm like, yo, I do not get offended by that word. Like, chill.
That's like calling little people the M word. Everybody gets triggered by it. I know. I have a friend. Well, was a friend. He's no longer with us, but he didn't mind the midget word. He preferred it over a little person.
Dude, I know a black guy who goes around calling people the N word with a hard R, and like, even then, like, I still think like, okay, dude, but like, we can't like get mad at him. It's like,
No.
okay. It's like,
I have, you know, I grew up with a very interracial culture. I went to school. I was the only white kid in one school. It was almost 4,000 kids. I was the only white person. Not the only. I was the only white person. 4,107 kids in the school I went to for high school. My first year, I was the only white person. Then I ended up at another school where there was 8 white people out of 3,908 people. So
wow.
never.
Only Oscars is right. Like, that word is an ugly word. Only Oscars.
It is a very ugly word, but you know what? If you ever watch the way that it's everywhere, man. It's in every rap song. It's in every movie that has any kind of like ghetto mentality to it.
Yeah.
I mean, when the word goes away, people might stop using it.
Yep.
I mean, that is what it is. It's like calling me a hunky. Jesus Christ, what are you doing, fish?
The
And
fish
also,
just tried
what
to
if
bite you. I saw it.
You
What
seen
if I
that?
told you-
Yeah, just flew right at you there.
Crazy. Hey, she's blind in one eye.
Forgot to feed her?
No, I don't feed my fish on Sundays.
Starving Sundays, right?
Fasting Sunday.
Yeah, she's mad at you.
I don't know anybody from Nigeria either. Actually, I do. I sold a car to a lady from Nigeria.
And what if I told you I wasn't white?
You said a couple of times you're like half Cuban, right? And white.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know.
Correct.
Look at me.
Brother, I'm a hillbilly.
Yeah.
You'd probably be more surprised if I said I wasn't all white.
I wouldn't believe that by the red hair.
yeah, I am, so it doesn't really matter.
I am Native American. I am English. I'm Irish, Czechoslovakian, and believe it or not, Jewish.
When me, my mom, and my grandparents, or when I'm speaking Spanish to my grandparents in public, people would be staring.
My
It would be awesome.
my nephew has every one of his kids is Hispanic except one. They're a mix of white and Hispanic, and it is weird to see my little my little niece walk up speaking Spanish, and I mean, she's white as a snowflake. And it's fluent. It's not like, broken. It is fluent at like 6 years old.
Oh wow.
I'm like, man, she can get it. She can get going. A ginger Cuban, that would be funny.
Yeah,
This
that
is
would
brown.
be fun.
Brown.
Oh, we'd be a mix of Jim and a Cuban girl.
I mean, I'm willing.
Brown.
I just got to find a Cuban girl.
I was going to ask you if you were married, Jim.
No. Nope, bachelor feller.
Man, I've been married for 12 years.
I thought you were gonna say 4 times, and I was like, damn. But
This
you
year
didn't,
will
so
be
I'm gonna
number
take that back.
13. No, me and my wife have been together a total of 15 years. We've been married for 12.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I have yet to get married.
You don't want to.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to.
So for Vibes' question, no, favorite fish to eat when keeping an aquarium? Catfish. But a small catfish, like a bullhead, that only gets to like 9 inches.
My favorite fish to eat is none. I don't like fish.
No?
They taste and smell disgusting. Like
I've
I've heard
said it a
Oscar's
million
good
times.
eating, though, from people from
I've
Florida.
heard the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know that I could eat it simply because, but I've heard they're good eating, nonetheless.
I love to eat shrimp though.
Been married 37 years. I hate seafood in general. Congratulations on the 37 years. If I make it that way or that long, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, that's a good,
I don't know if
good
I'm going
work.
to live that long.
Fish are like the
Stay
most
single.
normal sea creature out there, yet they taste the most disgusting. Like I love crab, I love shrimp, I love calamari even, but for some reason fish, the most normal creature in the ocean or the lakes or whatever, they taste the nastiest.
Yeah, the least bug one.
Yes, frontosas are overrated in my opinion. That is a
Never had
question.
one.
They don't do anything and they hide a lot.
Exactly.
Like I really want a Raphael catfish, but I'm not going to waste my money on a fish that I'm not going to see ever.
Vibes, where's Aquashella at this year? I mean, I know they have a couple of different ones, but man, I live in Ohio, so traveling is expensive for me, and I'm the manager, so I can't really just up and leave whenever I want.
My mom's Florida house is in Ormond Beach, right next to Daytona, and I missed Aquashella by a month. Like last time I went out to Florida, I went out to Florida like 1 month before Aquashella. I was so mad.
I am not a fish person, man. I can't eat fish. I had a bad experience with it when I was in elementary school. We had fish fillet day.
Was it
And
Friday?
I got it was I think so. And I got a hold of, I believe, was a bone or something. It stuck into my tonsil. I had to have it removed. That was the last time I ate fish. I mean, let me rephrase that. I've had perch in the last few years, like fresh perch, and I caught it. So I know it was fresh. I caught it. My father-in-law skinned it and filleted it, and we ate it. I know it was fresh. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go somewhere and order fish. That's a no. If I'm going out somewhere and ordering food, I'm going to get a steak. I'm going to order some chicken, maybe some ribs. I might get, I'm a meat guy. Oscar
Same.
nuggets. He thinks it's funny. Oscar nuggets. I don't know if I can make it to Dallas, Chicago, or Daytona this year, Vibes. My vacation is going to be used going to Mexico in 2 weeks.
Oh man.
Yes, I am going to have
I think you're making the right choice.
my big fat ass is going to be on the beach in the sun.
Don't you just love it when your non-fish keeper friends like always say like, "Yo, do you ever eat those fish?"
My dad asked me, he's like, you got a whole bunch of fish. He's like, I'm going to bring some mustard over and have sardines. I said, not my fish, you're not. I'm like, you can't eat any of my fish. I'm like, if you want to, you can try. Some of them might bite you back. Like this one tried.
I tell my friends they might get sick if they eat these fish.
Why are you so grumpy? She is grumpy, man. She is mad as hell that I'm sitting here and I'm not feeding her.
Only Oscars is asking us if we're French.
That's the frog legs from Animal Instincts. I've had frog legs. They taste like dirt. They literally
You know what?
taste like mud.
The extent of my French is parlez-vous French fry. And I got that from Cy off of Duck Dynasty.
I got the
Oh,
Cuban.
there's
the
a
British,
show I haven't thought about for a while.
It got lame, man. It was good at
It was a
first.
fun show at first.
It was good, and then it was like Swamp People.
Yep.
I used to like
Shoot
watching
him, guys! Shoot him!
River Monsters was my show.
Jeremy, yeah, that was a
Jeremy
good show.
Wade, man, that dude has caught some fish. Grilled frontosa on a bed of shrimp grits. Vibes that does not sound good.
Oh God, fish is fish. They all taste nasty.
To me, fish is friends. That's me.
Fish are friends, not food, and the only reason for that is because they taste disgusting. The fish are lucky.
However, cows are food.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So are pigs and chickens.
Absolutely. My boss occasionally will go to the butcher and buy all of the guys a steak. You know what I mean? And last steak I got was that thick and about that big. This thing was probably a 3-pound T-bone. I'm like, this is going to take me all day to cook. Literally. But then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'll turn that grill on high. I'm going to leave it on there for about 8 minutes aside because that'll get it about medium, about rare to medium. You know what I mean? That's good eating right there.
I love me a good ribeye.
I know.
Hey, I have a little charcoal.
That is a
pizza.
fact right there, only Oscar.
I have a
He
little
said put a
pizza
side
oven
of
that-
cottage.
Man, we keep doing this,
Come
Jim.
on, man.
Oh God, the cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is nasty.
Oh, God, Jim.
He's coming for me now.
So I got a little pizza oven that I heat up and I put a cast iron skillet into. And for the steak, you heat that skillet up about 700 degrees, put butter in it, put the steak in for like 2 minutes aside, pull it out. It's
Oh,
good stuff.
yeah.
Highly recommend doing that. Or with the
Okay.
grill. Put,
Right now.
put
Coming
that on
from a
there.
black. Hey, man, it don't matter what color you are. Entertainment is entertainment. You like it, you like it. One
You're
of my
making me-
favorite shows. One of my favorite shows growing up was Martin.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, that show was fantastic. I used to watch that and hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Imagine him doing Shanae today.
Oh man, you imagine the outlet? Like he'd be canceled, man, in 5 minutes.
That shit was
Within-
funny as hell, too.
If In Living Color was on TV right now, it would be off within a day. I promise you.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. The Wayans in general, man. They were hilarious, those guys. And yeah.
That is a very talented family right there.
Oh, hell yeah.
When they made fun of Michael Jackson's Black or White, I love that one.
Oh, Vibes is mad because we're making fun of him for the cottage cheese.
Oh man.
Actually, this
surprised.
guy's got to get going too. I don't know how to sign out, but I'm going to try because
Well, I
I
can
gotta
make
go to
that happen
bed.
for all of us because I'm about to go throw down some chili and
Yeah.
watch some TV and hang out with the old lady for the rest of the night. I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for
Yeah,
you
me
guys
too.
being on the live stream. It's
Thanks, man.
fantastic.
Thank you for
Great to
having
s-
me.
to see you all virtually too.
Absolutely.
Nice
So-
meeting you guys.
Everybody have a great night. Stay out of trouble. And it's your hobby. Do it your way.
Hell yeah.
Later.
See you all later.
Later.